Welcome to the Monday Monologue. Well, got some fun new stuff in front of us, but before I get into what all of this is, I was talking with a good friend of mine about the channel and that I was kind of feeling this was turning into a job. And he was like, what are you doing? Just do what you want to do. You don't owe anybody anything. And I mean, I know you guys have supported me along the way, and I hope you've enjoyed my journey into audio, and I'm still learning. And, you know, there's probably people on YouTube that have been doing audio for a living for 40 years that know a whole lot more about just high-end audio and everything that I do. And again, I hope that part of the enjoyment you get from watching my channel is follow me along in my journey as I'm learning. And I feel like I've kind of got stuck in a rut of doing just different versions of basically the same thing. Like, how many different single-ended ultralinear KT88 amps can I build? And they're all very similar. It's like, oh yeah, these are mono amps and this is an integrated amp, and if you guys want to build mono amps, just build mono amps. I'm just going to use that same schematic and build mono amps out of it. And so I'm not feeling inspired to go down that path right now. And the other thing that I'm going to put this out there too, I am done doing like mods on amps for people or repairing these made in China amps for people, whether it's Wilsonton or Musishare or whatever. You know, some guy, you know, I should have said no, but I felt sorry for the guy and I said, yeah, I'll take a look at it. And now I've got a Musishare here that I got to go through the mods on, and it's just, it's not exciting or fun to be doing that. It's just repetitious. And yeah, I know how to do it, but I'm not making much money off doing those mods either. And so, because the amp's only worth so much, and it's not like I'm restoring something like this that's really historic and cool. It's a cheap budget amplifier that had some junk parts in it, and I want to upgrade that stuff. But the one I did before for a guy, I went to all the trouble of replacing the bias switches and stuff in it, and 6 months later those broke. And luckily he was cool about it. He was like, look, I'll just buy some of those little bias, you know, tube socket things and set the bias on it. I know you did the best you could, and it's not your fault these cheap parts that you bought broke. But there's not any good parts. And some of that stuff's like super proprietary, and just even trying to find something I can retrofit into it is such a hassle. And so yeah, I'm not doing any more of that. And I'm not saying that I might not look at, you know, some amplifier to see if we can upgrade it, but I'm not going to take in, you know, don't ask me to mail you your amp to repair, because I'm not a repair shop. And so, yeah, I mean, I got an email conversation with a repair shop that did all the mods to an R8 for a customer, and then 3 weeks later, one of the output transformers puked. And customers pissed off at him that, you know, he spent this money getting the amp done, and now it needs an output transformer. It's like, it's cheap parts. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this one Musishare for this guy, and I'm done doing these mod upgrades to folks. So don't be insulted if you ask me and I say no, because I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not having fun, and that's what this needs to be. If this isn't fun, and hopefully you guys that saw my Akai M8 saw how excited I was about going into that thing, and I really want to work on that, but I can't because I got to go fix this guy's Musishare, which I have no interest in doing. So anyway, back to what's in front of me. I know we talked about you know, next, I'm going to finish that 6C33C because that is kind of interesting to me. And it's not the one I would have done. And actually, I shouldn't have put out a poll asking you what you want to see. I should just be doing what I want to do. And I know that sounds selfish, but yeah, if this isn't fun, I'm not going to keep doing this. And so that, I think, isn't good either. And so, yeah, let's get into something fun and new. So I've shown you all these before. These are some Acrosound ultralinear transformers. These were like the first ultralinear transformers, or these are the guys that came up with that concept. And it was Hafler, the guy that did those Hafler solid state amps and worked, a bunch of other industry giants. And I think that he had a really good brain for figuring out how to make audio stuff that works good. And so I want to build these 6v6 amps that use these transformers and use their schematic from, I think it was around 1951. I got the article in a magazine that talks about it. I've got the original brochure that came with these. I'm going to use that exact schematic that they designed to work with these, with some 6v6 tubes. Got a 12AX7 driving it. It's got a pretty high input sensitivity, or low input sensitivity. That's what I meant to say. It needs a pretty hot preamp, but that's fine. I've got the color preamp to drive them with that's pretty hot. So that's all cool. And I've got all the parts here to do this. And it's just sitting here waiting on me to have time to do it. And obviously this is something I'm interested in doing, or I would have, hunted down these transformers and all the literature and stuff. So I need to get back to doing the stuff that is fun for me. Because I'm pretty sure when I'm having fun, it's fun to watch. And so I want to learn about push-pull stuff. We've definitely been a pretty single-ended focused channel. And part of it's because I don't understand. I mean, I got the concept of what's going on, but there's so much phasing and stuff going on with these that I really don't grasp everything that's happening. And so the only way I learn is by doing. And so we're going to build these. Next, I wanted to do this is the big brother. This is a TO300. This is for a KT66. And I've got a set of some really nice KT66 tubes. And so, like, this is a 12 watt. I think these will go up to a 30 watt, something like that, 25 watt, which is kind of like a little baby brother to the Wilsonton R8. But it's using these really cool transformers, and it's a Williamson amp, which I know that they struggle with being stable, that they're real prone to, oscillate when you start putting a bunch of negative feedback in them. But this is a design, again, that Acrosound published to use with these transformers when they were just getting their company started. And I have to believe that they really vetted that schematic, that it was stable and it sounded good. And I've heard people talking about those Williamson amps, and they're like, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but I think it is Williamson, but then there's Wilsonton, and I'll get into that in a second. Anyway, I've heard people saying that style amp really does sound good if you can get it stable. And part of the stability comes from having really good output transformers, and these are supposed to be really good output transformers that work in that style of circuit. So, found one of these, and it's in pretty nice shape. I kind of like the patina on these. I took your advice. I'm not repainting them. We're going to embrace that these things are close to 70 years old, or maybe over 70. Anyway, found this heath kit, W3, that came with an Acrosound TO300. And I was going to cannibalize this for the transformer, But then it's like, man, this is such a historical piece too. And it's kind of like that Akai M8. And I see people cannibalizing those for the amplifiers. I'm like, no, don't do that. That's a historical kind of piece, and you're tearing it all apart just to get some single-ended amplifiers that you could build, you know. And I kind of feel the same way about this. And I'm sure this multi-section cap's dead, and we'll have to restuff it. And you know, I'm not sure exactly what circuit that they used on this, whether it's similar to what I'm going to be doing with this or something totally different. And these came with or supposed to come with a power supply that feeds each amp. And my plan is to get another one of these that's in nice shape that comes with a power supply, but then use the same power supply for both. And I may have to replace the power transformer with a higher milliamp rated one and maybe replace the choke and whatever. I'm not as concerned about keeping the power supply historically accurate and have one power supply that feeds both of these mono amps. So anyway, I want to get into push-pull stuff. And what makes me excited about doing this stuff is learning. And hopefully you guys are learning as I go along. And I hope that's what makes this fun. I know some folks think that I'm trying to be some self-proclaimed, guru, the last word on tube audio or audio in general. And far from it, guys. I'm just someone that got really interested in this. And I've got a good math brain. And I kind of understand science. And there's some of the things like this. I'm really better with mechanical kind of stuff, but this electrical stuff too, it just makes sense to me. And once I get to a point where it's like, aha, now I see what's going on, then yeah, I'm good to go. I'm not there yet with push-pull. There's a lot of this phasing kind of stuff, phase inversions and stuff and time constants and stuff that I don't understand at all. And I got to figure that out before I can really start tweaking on these things. And that's why I want to work with a schematic that I know is good and then really start understanding this global negative feedback and how to test stability and all that kind of stuff. Don't understand that stuff at all right now. And so that's one of the reasons I want to dive into this is to learn. So I told you I was going to touch on another subject. And I've had quite a few people rag on me for not being professional or that, you're pronouncing this word wrong. And like I said earlier, was it Williamson or Wilsonton? And I was pronouncing Wilsonton wrong for a long time. I mispronounced that. I guess it's Aperion. I was saying Esperion, and somebody got really upset. And not only was one guy just commenting about how that's just common courtesy for you to spend the time to, understand. It's like, did you not understand what I was talking about when I added the S in there? Did it really confuse you? I don't understand why somebody. Maybe that's just a pet peeve that really grates on some people's nerves. And if it does, you're probably watching the wrong channel. Because my grammar's horrible, my spelling's horrible. I have a hard time pronouncing some words, and I know electrolytic. I know some people were just freaking out that I was mispronouncing that. It's like, did you not understand what kind of capacitor I was talking about? Were you confused, thinking about, is there two different ones, or can you get past me mispronouncing a word? And if you're looking for a super polished YouTube channel where there's somebody behind the camera checking the audio levels and all that stuff. I'm down in my workbench by myself with the camera on a tripod recording these things. And there's nobody reviewing my edits. I'm editing the videos myself and then uploading them. And I'm not having somebody else preview them for errors or pronunciation, whatever. And a lot of times even if I know it's wrong, it's I'm not re-recording this whole thing. Can pronounce that one word wrong. And just right there, I stumbled a little bit. I'm not going to re-record this whole video because I stutter a little bit or, get whatever. And I think I need to be given some credit that I'm not one of these YouTubers that's up here going, and if you look at this and just throwing uhs in every other word. I don't do that. I think I'm a pretty decent public speaker, and I think I get my point across. Yeah, we're not sitting in a $2.5 million home with a 1,200 square foot living room with $100,000 worth of audio gear and $3,000 couches and stuff, that we're shooting the video in. And don't have a little, a glass of $500 a bottle whiskey sitting here smoking a pipe. That's not what this is about. And if that's the kind of reviews and videos and stuff you're looking for, there's plenty of people that are doing that. And man, they will pump up whatever you bought to make you feel good about your purchase choice. And I know a lot of people love those kind of videos. It's probably why I got 15K subs instead of 350,000 subs. Yeah, I'm not a 25-year-old hot-looking human being that, that's never going to be what this channel is. So, I always got to put a rant in. And I know you say that, yeah, you need to just ignore the commenters and ignore the emails and stuff. If you guys saw the horrific, just abusive comments and emails that luckily I have filters that catch most of those people, you would stop posting YouTube videos if you got those sent to your inbox. And so I feel like I got a pretty thick skin to be able to continue making videos and continue this channel with all the hate and just hostile, nasty stuff that gets emailed and put to me in comments that you guys never see, because I don't want this channel to turn into some, what's political correctness, societal issues channel. That's not why we're here. That's not why I do this. If I wanted to do that kind of a channel, that's what it would be. I'd do a political channel and talk about politicians and the problems with our country and all that kind of stuff, and probably have 1 million subscribers, because there's people out there doing that too. That's not what this channel's about. So just know that if you really just cannot control yourself and you've got to just send me some nasty, hate-filled comment that you think's funny, because they always put a little LOL after their little hate speech, that you're going to get blocked from the channel. I got a block list freaking this long. There's probably 300 people on my block list just from the horrible stuff people said. So just be glad I don't rant about that every week. And hopefully I didn't rant too much about it right now. But yeah, I think most people would have quit recording and publishing videos years ago if they got the kind of hate mail that I get. So here we are. It's our great world we live in today, where people hate each other more than they're nice to each other. I just wish people could learn to be kind to each other. So that's about as far as politically as I'm going to get. Notice I didn't talk about any political parties or anything like that, and I'm not getting into that mess either. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying my channel. You folks that have made it this far in the video clearly enjoy what I'm doing here, and I do appreciate you guys watching, because I wouldn't keep making these money monologues and doing these videos. And I mean, I might do some of this other stuff, but these money monologues I would have quit doing a long time ago. But clearly folks enjoy watching this stuff too, so I'm going to add that content on. I do plan on continuing to do my honest reviews of stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope y'all understand when I'm not giving something a super glowing over the top review, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means it didn't work for me. And I tell you the use case, and I'll let you figure out if it'll work for you. Like those speakers I reviewed last week. Man, those are super nice speakers. And I will say those JBL L82s were just bad speakers. And I just cannot imagine those working in anybody's use case. and these Aperions would work in that use case, sound fantastic, and are half the price. And the build quality, it just blows them away. Oh, and I will talk about that real quick too. I've had people saying, quit using the word destroy, and you keep saying so between every sentence. Can you just stop doing that? Or, stop waving your hands. You don't look at the camera enough. You need to smile more. It's like, no. This is who I am. I'm not going to modify how I talk and how I act and what I'm doing in front of the camera just because, we're not doing that. So anyway, thanks again for watching my channel. Thanks to all you regular subscribers, regular viewers. Thanks to you Patreon folks. That really helps me get a little bit extra money in my pocket to go out and buy some Transformers and stuff on eBay so we can use it on the channel. Appreciate you folks. Donate stuff, send me stuff to review, all that stuff. That's all fun. And we'll see you next week for the Monday Monologue.